What's up, guys? Welcome back to another market analysis. Welcome back to another analysis video, guys. Hope you guys had a good week. We're back with another analysis video here. We're going to be covering from the 25th through the 30th. Okay, so the 29th. But basically, we have a bank holiday this week. We have the U.S. bank holiday. Thanksgiving, right? So we know Thursday is probably going to be a little bit slow price action, especially on the USD pairs. But anyways, before that, what do we have? We have Tuesday, we have news, we have consumer confidence, we have CPI for the Aussie. And then we also have a lot of news for the New Zealand as well. Wednesday, we have FOMC meeting minutes. Shouldn't be anything huge. Usually it's not. But what we do have before that is the core PCE and the unemployment claims. That is going to give us some volatility on that Wednesday. So Tuesday and Wednesday looks like the biggest days of this week so far. And then Thursday is most likely going to be like a more slower day. We might see some price action. We might see some movements, but nothing, huge or impulsive. Tuesday and Wednesday is definitely what we're going to have to focus on. And then Friday, we have a little bit, but nothing that is going to cause anything major. GDP for the CAD and then manufacturing. So nothing well, for the Chinese yen, but nothing crazy on that day. It's Tuesday and Wednesday. That's mainly going to be the core days of where we're going to see that impulsive movements and those like big volatility and potential spikes. Okay, so those are the days you're gonna have to watch out for. Okay, now getting into the price action itself, I am here on DXY, and look what has happened inside of the group. I've been talking about these highs being taken out here on DXY, and we see what kind of has happened after we've seen this accumulation here. Now, after we got this first mitigation and this push up that failed to make these new highs, we were thinking that the market was going to create a redistribution since we came back and took out this low, but we ended up accumulating again. And since this accumulation, we've been spiking towards the upside. And I mean, at that point, we knew we were coming for these highs, which we have taken out. Okay, so now this here is still a valid imbalance that I'm looking for the market to target here. It's on the daily time frame, something right here. There's that imbalance zone right there. I'm looking for the market to get there. Once we get there, I do expect at least some type of retracement from this market. I don't think we're going to immediately go take out these highs. I'm not sure. I don't see a higher percentage of that happening. Honestly, I would like to see a pullback before then. So maybe we come up here, we fill up this imbalance, and then we just get a little reaction to the downside of just the market stalling a little bit before we see another push. If the bullish volatility is going to continue how it continues, I'd like to see that slow down first. Or, I mean, if we're just DXY and the dollar is just strong like this, we're probably just going to push past these highs and take out this overall high here. And as you can see on the higher time frame, we've been really pushing towards the upside after seeing these huge and reaccumulations and bigger accumulations, right? Now, let's get into these pairs. Let's talk about GU real quick. GU on the higher time frame, we can see that we have one huge daily leg towards the upside. We have our accumulation right here. Let me make this bigger. We have our huge legs here going towards the upside, right? We see that low high. Now we do know that on the higher time frame we are still bearish from this high to this low, but we know that we were in a pullback here, getting the market to come back. Now honestly, we see that we are, and we did tap within the 50% of like this huge area now. And I mean, obviously we're seeing that the market is going lower with seeing that DXY is giving us that, strong push and everything like that. So what do we have? We have low, high, low, high, and we just created a change of character recently that is now going to make me want to continue selling this market. Most likely we might take out this low. Once we take out this low here, that'll confirm that we are in a full bearish market on the higher time frame and on every time frame. Now when we go to a lower time frame is what we're trading right now. We have our most recent change of character right here on the lower time frame. This invalidates our structure point, and I'm gonna put I'm gonna just put a break of market structure here. That invalidates our overall structure point, which was holding us on the lower time frame. Lower time frame structure meaning the 1 hour, 30 minute, 2 hour, 3 hour. 4 hour really gets into like the intraday, and the daily gets into like the higher time frame. But when I'm talking about lower time frame, I'm mainly talking about like the 1 hour and below. So talking about that order flow that we usually trade. So this is still a valid area that I will be taking a sell from in the market. Now where we're at right now, what am I looking for? So our latest thing that we seen here was we had this manipulation of these highs. Now honestly, I was hoping for the market to go a little bit higher than this. I really was hoping for us to come into here. This is where I was going to take that sell. We didn't really get up there, so we took out these highs right here, and we see that London session move here that gave us that push to the downside. Now inside of that, we have our redistributions. We barely didn't even take out those highs right here. So the market is in a bearish market, right? So what am I looking for? What am I going to do? And how will we continue to keep selling this market? So mainly I'm just looking for some type of manipulation. So either we come back up here and we, fill up and manipulate some of these highs and, take out some of this liquidity that we left over, or I want to see us give that same movement. So we're building some price action right here, as we can see. Price action, all of this being built, all that liquidity. I want to see if we could take out these highs here, and then we get some more pushes towards the downside. So something like this that I would like to see on this market would be nice. Maybe London session opens up, we manipulate, we go lower, and then we'll take that mitigation, continue following these mitigations to the downside. So I'm still looking for redistributions, and I'm still looking for manipulations of the highs. So once Asian session opens up today and we see that happen tomorrow morning when we wake up, and we will take those sells to the downside. I'm not looking to buy this market at the moment. We are getting into this huge area here. That's one thing I will mention. So let me delete all of this price section real quick so I can show you guys. Okay, so seeing this from leg to leg perspective, we see that we reacted off this accumulation here. We broke this high. Now understand that this whole thing is one push towards the upside. Boop. This is that reaccumulation of that push, and we're still within that bigger reaccumulation. So what does that mean? This means this is the origin of our move, and you can see that the market actually mitigates this area here before taking off. So that means this area here is still a valid point, and we still know that buyers got into the market here, even though we know this is the origin of our leg, which makes it important. But this area is also important because this mitigates and we continue towards the upside. So just talking about this reaccumulation by itself, right? Just talking about this reaccumulation by itself, we're going to mark out this whole push. Boom. So as you can see, this whole push to the downside that took out all these lows before we got that push to the upside that took out our high. That is what we're focused on right now. And yes, I'm still looking for sales. But one thing I want you guys to understand is do not be surprised if we get a retracement within here. I would most likely say somewhere down here. If I'm going to put a bet on where the market will react or where we'll see a reaction, that's going to be where I would place that at. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind setting a limit order there if I could figure that out. Let's see. That limit order is probably going to be huge though. That's really what I'm trying to avoid. Yeah, that limit order is going to be huge. But let's go back to the daily. Let's see. See what we can do within this area here. I'm going to wait till we get here. And once we get here, I'll decide whether I want to set a limit order here or not. Probably around the 50% though. But I'm still looking for sales. Understand, we are still looking for sales to the downside. And that is going to be our main objective right now. I'm going to continue looking for sales until we get into this area right here. Once we get into that area, I'll kind of hold a little bit and see if we're going to see any buying pressure from this area, and just get probably, little retracements to the upside that we could catch to take the market back higher, targeting these areas. Because honestly, I could see this market, taking out highs and continue to just mitigate and fall until we get into down here, which is our closest area of valid demand. Once we get into that, then we could potentially see a reversal and start seeing the market reverse back to come back and mitigate here, or even back up here, because this is still a valid, very valid area. This is the area that invalidated this low, so this is our last area here where we supposedly wanted to see buyers, and that didn't happen. So this is the area of supply. Okay. That's GU. Getting into EU. EU has been super bearish. And we honestly completed our distribution here. So same thing. Are you guys going to notice DXY and EU are like flipped, right? As we know. So they're mainly the same price action. Okay. They are mainly the same price action. Now, with that being said, let's go back on EU. This is just the opposite of what we've seen on DXY earlier. We've seen the liquidity to the highs. Now, when we get into EU, what do we see? We see the liquidity at the lows, right? So we have distribution here. We have a huge distribution going on the higher time frame. We can see we have one push to the downside. We have one huge leg to the downside. All of this was just a retracement based on the higher time frame. This is why we look at higher time frame, even though we don't specifically trade the higher time frame itself, but we're still looking at the higher time frame to find out if we're inside of supply zones, if we're inside of demand zones, and where we're at in the market. Now, as we go down to the 4 hour and we're looking at it, what do we see? We see we have distribution, distribution, distribution. Market going lower. We had that first mitigation, market pushed lower, and then we come back breaking this high, which gave us, that made us think that the market might just continue going higher and reaccumulate. But nope, we came and we mitigated the actual distribution itself, and we see that here. And then after that, we see the market completely push towards the downside. Now, following that bearish market structure and the market cycle, we see highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, right? The market is continuously pushing itself. This was an area I was looking for the market to mitigate up here. It was specifically, if I can find it, I think it was a specific candle, which was like right here. I was looking for the market to get into. We honestly did not make that. That's something I'm gonna have to back test, because I see that we did tap into the 4 hour barely. We barely tapped into the 4 hour here. Let's see what that's looking like. Higher time frame. Yeah, we barely tapped into the 4 hour. That's something that I'm gonna have to look into. But we can see that the market pushes lower. So after this move here, market pushes lower. We have this huge push to the downside. Now, zooming in, this is the latest area that I've been looking at right here. Since last week, we see on Friday, we have this manipulation of all of these highs here, all of these Asian highs, before we see this huge impulsive move to the downside. Now, I'm expecting us to give a reaction here to push us lower. I'm only targeting a 1 to 3, so that's going to be what I'm looking for. Depending on how the market opens up and everything like that, that's what we're going to look at. And I'm going to try to take this market a little bit lower, at least to take out these lows, and just kind of following the overall market cycle. So because the market has been so bearish and we've been pushing lower like super heavily, we can be more aggressive on these sales and everything like that, especially since we have not seen any buyers really get into the market. We're not seeing any accumulations. We're not seeing any price action, any stalling, anything, right? Every time we see the market is going higher, look how much we're struggling with this momentum. And momentum is something that we need to pay attention to understand who's in control of the market. It's good to see the accumulations, the distributions, and everything like that, but also it is also good to see with our eyes the actual movements that they create, right? We can see every time here that the market is going higher, we're kind of like climbing up these stairs here, and the market is barely trying to go higher. But every time we sell, we see these strong selling moves. Right here we see this retracement barely going higher, and then we see a strong selling move lower. Again, here we see this retracement, even to mitigate this area here that we have. We see this retracement stalling, and look how easy the market pushes to the downside, right? So that's something you want to pay attention to. Look how easily the market is going to one direction. That's most likely going to tell you who majority of the market is in the hands of, right? And right now we can tell majority of the market is in the hands of sellers right now, especially on EU, seeing that we having this bearish market cycle where it's easy for sellers to get these moves here. Now I'm just going to continue following that, so this is going to be my closest area. After that, we'll look into this area itself. I kind of don't like this area with these highs being here, especially these Asian highs being here, so I would not take a limit order above here. Honestly, I'll wait till the market gets there and see what we can take on the lower time frame, but this is somewhere where I'd be looking at first. All right, so getting into some other pairs, USD CAD, this was a demand zone that I was looking at, and I'm honestly waiting to see if we're going to take out this high right here. Once we take out this supply zone, it's going to be all goes, right? All goes for buyers and to take this higher. Now, if we do not react from this area here, understand we still have this huge area right there. Now, zooming out, we can see USD CAD is on a bullish push, right? We already talked about our market structure, and we see we have low, high, low, high, low, high. So I'm just going to continue following bullish price action on this market. Okay. AU is kind of a weird place for me. I kind of left AU alone at the time. We're kind of ranging. Okay. We're kind of ranging, but if you're going to trade AU, I honestly would say follow the same market cycle that EU and GU is doing, especially since DXY is kind of like heavily bullish right now. I would follow that same narrative. I wouldn't change from that. Even just because the price action here and the market cycle itself, we do have a change of character right here. I will put that there, breaking that low, invalidating that accumulation here. So main thing I'm trying to say is follow the narrative of the market. If DXY is going higher and it is still continuing heavily pushing to the upside, EU, GU, AU, NU, all of these other crosses most likely are going to go inverse, right? Especially AU, right? AU is most likely going to push lower following the strength of DXY. Okay, doesn't mean it's going to be, you know, as aggressive or anything like that, but that just gives you a little bit of an edge and just puts you on the right side of the market. Okay, so price action on AU right now is not the cleanest as far as like the higher time frame and the leg structure and everything like that, but on the lower time frame, just understanding what the other pairs are doing and how they're moving, I would continue to sell AU. All right. Now gold. Gold was supposed to reach this demand zone that I was looking at. It didn't get there. I was actually looking to see if we're going to start. We invalidated this demand zone and this reaccumulation after reacting off of this huge area. As you can see here, gold has been pushing higher and higher. We've been following that, going from demand to demand, pushing it. Okay, but what can we see? We can see we have this heavy push towards the upside, right? I'm going to continue buying gold. So that's what I've been doing. I've been buying gold as it's been continue going higher. We invalidated this area that I was looking at. So honestly, I see us coming back into our 2,750. I see us coming back in there, and most likely we'll probably continue pushing higher. This is a good retracement to the downside. I was hoping for us to get into this demand zone a little bit more. We barely missed it, but I was still looking for buys over here. As soon as we broke this high, honestly, you know, we have this huge impulsive move to the downside. So as soon as we broke that high, I was honestly already looking for buys towards the upside. Okay. So gold, I would continue buying gold. Looking on the lower time frame, I did have little areas that I was looking at. I did have little areas that I was looking at, like right here. One thing that I didn't like about gold last week is we was kind of messing around a lot, right? We was kind of stalling a lot during my time, so I kind of left gold alone for the day. But as you can see, we're still pushing higher, and honestly, what I will do here is I would honestly look for a pullback back into this area right here. Once we get into this area, this is going to be a good spot to look for more buyers. Okay, if we can get a pullback down here back into this accumulation, this would be the best spot to look for the closest area of demand, and this is where I'd look for more buyers to the upside. Now, as we continue going higher, I'm just going to follow the reaccumulations, and I'm just going to take it higher that way. Okay, going into US 30, we're pushing higher, as you guys can see, following the structure. Look, we have lows, we have highs, we have low right here, and now this market is about to make a new high. Following the price action, following the market cycle, continue following that. The indices has been bullish. US 30 has been bullish. Follow these reaccumulations. Listen to what I'm telling you guys with these retracements, the 50%, using these fibs and everything like that is pretty simple. As you can see right here, we have manipulation of Asian lows, market pushes higher. There's our mitigation push, manipulation of Asian lows, market pushes higher. We did not get a mitigation here, so that is telling me that most likely, if we do get a pullback, this is where I would want to look first for the next mitigation as we push higher. Now, as the market pushes, we're going to update our next trend and our next leg. I'm going to wait for this high to be broken and for the market to maintain that high. Once that happens, we're going to continue following that same leg structure. Okay, NAS, same thing here. We can see we have manipulations of the lows, market pushes higher. You can see I have my demand zone right here. This was just part of this last mitigation, and I'm going to continue following this higher as we go on. I did have this kind of selling opportunity up here, but now this is all liquidity. This is already gave its sell, right? We already have sellers here that we know took this market down from this distribution. And how do we know there were sellers here? Look at our move to the downside, right? Once you see that move to the downside like this, you know that these sellers that was a part of this market already has done their job. What was their job? Their job was to get us back into this demand zone. Why is that? Why, when we get up here, we're not looking for sales anymore? Because of the market structure. Okay, market structure overrules everything. So you can see here, we have this demand zone, we have the mitigation, the market is pushing higher, right? Understand, you're going to get sellers at the top of every market, but doesn't mean that that's going to hold every time, especially when you have a bullish market cycle, okay? And the market is going higher. So, last but not least, Tesla. Let's see. Honestly, my same idea goes for this. I've been saying just continue buying it. I don't see any weakness in this at all. Continue looking for the reaccumulations as we usually look for it. Now, I don't like any of this, so I would honestly wait until we take out these lows. If you're going to look for another buying opportunity, either we come out and take out these lows or we get more aggressive pushes that is completely showing bullish market cycle. If not, and you're looking for a buying opportunity, I would wait until underneath these lows to fill up all of this, and then we can look for some buys underneath here to take it higher. Okay, so that is pretty much it for this market analysis, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.